The walls of my old home still echoed with memories, the laughter of my children, the scent of my late wife's cooking, the warmth that had once been a permanent fixture in my life. It wasn't much, but it was mine. Until I gave it all away. For as long as I could remember, my greatest wish had been to see my 3 children succeed. Jason, my eldest, had dreams of starting a tech company. Melissa, my only daughter, wanted to open a chain of luxury boutiques. And Emily, the youngest, aspired to be a restaurant owner. They had the ambition, but not the means. That's where I stepped in. After my wife passed away, I dedicated my life to raising them alone. I worked 2 jobs, sometimes 3, to ensure they had everything they needed. When they finished college, reality hit them hard. Success wasn't as easy as they had imagined. Struggling to find financial backers, they turned to me. "Dad," Jason had said one evening, sitting across from me at the worn-out kitchen table. "I know it's a lot to ask, but if we could just get some capital, we could make something of ourselves." Melissa leaned forward, her eyes shining with hope. "Just think about it, Dad. If you help us now, we'll be able to support you later. You wouldn't have to worry about anything." Emily, always the quiet one, nodded in agreement. "We'll pay you back," she promised. "You won't regret it." I looked around the house, the peeling wallpaper, the creaky floors, the photographs of their childhood years lining the mantel. My heart ached. I had spent decades building this home, but what good was a house if my children's dreams remained unfulfilled? The next day, I made the hardest decision of my life. I sold the house. With the money from the sale, I split the funds 3 ways, giving each child a fresh start. Jason got his tech company up and running, Melissa secured a prime location for her boutique, and Emily found the perfect space for her restaurant. Their excitement was contagious, and for a while, I felt I had done the right thing. I moved into a small room above a friend's garage. It wasn't much, a bed, a desk, a tiny bathroom, but it was enough. I told myself it was temporary. That once their businesses took off, things would change. Months turned into a year. Jason's company became a success, drawing in investors. Melissa's boutiques flourished, making headlines in fashion magazines. Emily's restaurant was the talk of the town. They were living their dreams. But as their fortunes grew, their time for me diminished. At first, I dismissed it as busy schedules. I understood, building an empire took effort. But then, the calls became less frequent. The invitations stopped coming. The promises of repaying me were forgotten. It was as if I had become an afterthought. On Christmas Eve, I sat alone in my tiny room, staring at the wrapped gifts I had bought for my children. I thought of all the Christmases we had shared, the nights spent decorating the tree, the laughter, the stories. A lump formed in my throat. I picked up the small, carefully wrapped presents and decided to visit Melissa's new mansion. Surely, they wouldn't turn away their own father on Christmas. When I arrived, the house was dazzling. The warm glow of lights shone through the windows, illuminating the large crowd inside. I could hear laughter, music, the clinking of glasses. I knocked on the door, adjusting my coat against the cold. It swung open to reveal Melissa in a shimmering dress, her expression unreadable. "Dad," she said, her tone hesitant. "Merry Christmas, sweetheart," I said, smiling. "I thought I'd stop by and spend the evening with you all." She glanced over her shoulder before stepping onto the porch. "Dad, this is a private event. It's just for close friends and business associates." I blinked, my heart tightening. "But I'm your father. Christmas is for family." Melissa looked uncomfortable. "It's complicated. You wouldn't really fit in with the crowd here." "I'm sorry." Behind her, Jason and Emily appeared, looking just as uncomfortable. No one spoke. No one invited me in. The silence was deafening. I took a deep breath, forcing down the pain. Then, I did something I never thought I'd do. I raised my voice, making sure everyone inside could hear. "Ladies and gentlemen," I called out. "I just want to congratulate my children. A year ago, they had nothing. No capital, no direction. I sold my only house to give them the funds to start their businesses. I gave them everything. And today, I stand here, unwelcome at their Christmas celebration." The room inside fell silent. Guests turned to look at Melissa, Jason, and Emily. Some whispered. Others stared in shock. The shame on my children's faces was evident. "I won't take up any more of your time," I said, my voice steady despite the heartbreak. "I just hope that one day, you remember what truly matters. Family isn't disposable." I turned and walked away, feeling the cold bite through my coat. But before I could reach my car, I heard hurried footsteps behind me. "Dad, wait." It was Emily, tears in her eyes. "We were wrong. Please, don't go." Jason and Melissa followed, their faces full of regret. "We forgot what was important," Melissa whispered. "We got so caught up in success that we lost sight of what truly matters. Please, come inside." I looked at them for a long moment before shaking my head. "Not tonight. Maybe someday, when you truly understand what family means." With that, I walked away, leaving them standing in the cold, realizing just how much they had lost. The following weeks were filled with apologies, letters, calls, visits. My children had learned a painful lesson, one that would take time to mend. Eventually, they came to me, not as successful entrepreneurs, but as my children again, seeking forgiveness. I forgave them, because that's what fathers do. But I also made sure they understood that love and respect could never be bought. And that Christmas would always be about family, not status.